Hello, Course 3 students, and welcome to video lesson 1.2. In today's lesson, your objective is I can translate between algebraic expressions and word phrases. So we're going to be changing things that are written in a mathematic form in algebraic expression and then changing them into actual written words or English form. So agenda for today is to review some word phrases so that we understand what words mean what. And then we are going to go through 4 examples on word phrases and math expressions. So the review on some of these is understanding words that associate with each one of the operations. So you have 4 main operations, which are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And so as you go through each one here, we're going to kind of talk about the different kinds of words that are associated with that operation. So for instance, they have it written in the mathematical expression over here. So that's how I was saying you're taking that expression and changing it into word form, and here are the word phrases. So you might see things like add, sum, or more than. That is all going to be your addition problems. So in this case, add 5 to a number. Well, we don't know what the number is, so that's why they have it as a variable, and in this case, they decided to have n. Sum of a number and 5. So again, we don't know what that number is, but the sum means addition. And 5 more than a number. All right. So for subtraction, it looks like if we look at the expression, we've got x minus 11. So there's multiple ways as we kind of go through this. There's a few multiple ways that we can express how to write this in an English form. So one they say is subtract 11 from a number. Again, your variable is that x, so that's why they just say a number. Difference of a number and 11, that would also show me a subtraction. 11 less than a number would also show me subtraction. Things for multiplication. So in this case, they've got 3m. They have 3 multiplied by a number. Or you can also say product. So multiply or product will also mean multiplication. And for division, there's 2 different ways you can express division within math. You can make it look like a fraction of a out of 7 or a divide by 7. And so it says 7 divided into a number, or you can say quotient of a number and 7, because quotient also means division. So this is going to be really important. I think I'll actually share this somewhere on our Google Classroom page too, so this can help you when you're going through some of those problems. Let's go ahead and take a look at some examples. Not sure why it's still got the box around it. But so our first example is to translate word phrases into math expressions. So basically it's like we're taking this part, but we need to do it in the math expression. So we don't have the expression part over here. We just have the words. We're going to change it into an expression. So remember the A and B here, that's just the problem number. Ooh, it is, there we go. Oh, it doesn't want to listen, does it? Give me just a sec. Alrighty, so let's take a look at these ones. So I've got part A, which says 1 more than the product of 12 and P. So we're going to have to break it apart based on numbers and variables, and then we'll take a look at any important words or phrases. So in that power math that I like to use, one of the parts is to circle any important numbers or any important phrases. In this case, let's just do our numbers. So we've got 12, we've got P, and we've got 1. So then let's take it apart some of these words. We've got more than, and we have product. Remember that more than is going to show me an operation of addition. Product shows me an operation of multiplication. So in this case, it says 1 more than the product of 12 and P. So this 12 and this P go with the product. So that means that I'm going to have 12P or 12 times P. We can write it as multiplication with a dot or that X, but In this case, for most of algebra, you just put them right next to each other and that shows a multiplication. So 12 times p more than, and I add in the 1. It's okay if you wrote 1 plus 12p. That would be the same thing. Again, it's okay if you had like 1 plus 12 times p. I will accept it. There's more than one way to get the phrase from this and to write it out, as long as it still is an equivalent kind of equation. All right, let's take a look at B then. I'm moving a few things around. B says 4 less than a number n divided by 2. So again, I'm going to circle all my important numbers here, or variables, and we've got n, and we've got 2. Then let's look at our phrases. Less than talks about subtraction, and divided, well, that's divided. So let's see. 4 less than a number n divided by 2. Well, n is being divided by 2, so one way I could write it is n divided by 2, and 4 less than that, subtract 4. Or I could write n over 2 minus 4, okay? So that's how I can take an algebraic expression translate word phrases into a math expression or an algebraic expression. Let's look at part 2 then. 2 then is having me go backwards from what we were just doing. So we're going to translate translate word phrases into word phrases. I think this was supposed to be algebraic expressions into word phrases. My bad, guys. So what we need to do is write a word phrase for the algebraic expression 4 minus 7b. Well, I basically, when I read it out loud like that, I've got most of the gist of what I need to do or how to write it. So I said 4 minus 7b. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say 7b, but let's start with that 4 minus or 4 subtract. So again, I'm going to spell it out. You could write 4, or you can just do 4 because in the previous problem, they just did the number 4. So let's just do the actual number symbol for 4. 4, and I'm going to change it instead of minus, I'm going to say subtract. And then let's think 7b. Remember when it's 7b, it's 7 times b. So I'm going to say 4 subtract 7. Multiplied. I'm not going to make it times. Multiplied. That's me by b. All right, so that's one way you could write it. If you've got any other suggestions, you can always let me know if you think that's correct. There's a couple different ways you could say. You could say for a difference of, or you could be like, okay, 4 subtract the product of 7 and b. That's another way you could do it. There's definitely multiple ways you can go through it. So I want to keep going though, because I don't want to take up too much time. I like to get these videos about 10 to 15 minutes and no more than that. So example 3, write and evaluate expressions in, I think it moved over a little bit, in word problems. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. It says a company aired its 30-second commercial n times during Super Bowl 39, I think that is. I hope I did that right. At a cost of $2.4 million each time. Write an algebraic expression to evaluate what the cost would be if the commercial had aired 2, 3, and 4 times. All right, so with Power Math, we always underline our problem. So P is for problem. O is for operation, so we want to think about what kind of operation we are going to be doing. Sometimes there's clue words, and I think your big clue word here is each time. Okay, so then you want to go ahead and look at any words or phrases that might be important, or even numbers in this case. This time we'll box in the numbers. To be honest with you, 30 seconds doesn't matter. This n times, though, will be important. Also, this 2.4 million. And the fact that we need to solve it for 2, 3, and 4 times. All right, the E is usually for an estimation. I am not a big fan of that step, but you could already start an estimate if you'd like. And then R is for your real answer. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at all these pieces and put them together. So it says that it is each time this commercial is aired, it's going to cost them $2.4 million. So we need to know how much it's going to cost them for 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times. Well, they said n times. So if I were to create an algebraic expression for this, I'm going to take this 2.4 million. We're not going to write it as millions, but we're just going to remember in our head that it means millions. So I'm going to take 2.4 and we're going to multiply it by n times. So if I want to know how much it's going to cost if I air it 2 times, well, I'm going to plug in 2 for n. So in this case, it would be 2.4 times 2. That would give me $4.8 million. I'm just going to put an n by it for million. Okay, what if I did 2.4 times 3? What would that be? 7.2 million. And if I did it 4 times, so another 2.4 for this one, 9.6 million. All right, and that's how I would set up. Here's your algebraic expression that would represent it, and here's how I can solve for each one by substituting in the amount of time they decided to air that commercial. All right, and we have one more to go through. I'm really hoping we can go through this with enough time, and so that's why I'm going a little fast. But you can always pause and rewind this, or I mean, you don't really rewind on a YouTube video, but you can go backwards and you can rewatch it if I was going a little too fast for you. Don't forget your code word. I haven't forgotten the code word. Code word is flower for this one. So in here, example 4 is write a word problem from the math expression. So this is something that is going to be important, is being able to understand how to take a math expression and come up with some sort of math problem. So it says write a word problem that can be evaluated by algebraic expression 14,917 plus m, and evaluate the expression for m equals $633 or 33. So my mind went straight to money. So maybe it's Jim has a savings account. I'm not going to write this all out in my handwriting here, but I'm going to more so talk through it. So Jim has a savings account. Maybe Jim already has, $14,917 in his bank account. He's trying to save up to buy, I don't know, let's say he's buying a really cool car. And so he's saving all this money up. And then his M could be maybe his money he earned. Okay, so money earned equals M. So this is the amount of money Jim decided or earned this last week, and he can put into his bank account for this. So that's one way you can come up with a problem. You could be as creative or not as creative as you want. We will definitely practice some more of these together. But then they want us to also evaluate the expression of this. So remember, evaluating means to solve. And so we're actually going to end up adding these together. Oops, I didn't line those up right. 6, 3, 3, 0. Hopefully I added that right. Let me know if I didn't. This seems like a very nice round number. 15,550 now seems to be what Jim has in his bank account. If I didn't get this right, let me know. But make sure, otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow, and we will go through some more problems like this together, and I will demonstrate some more, and then we'll practice them together. So have a good rest of your day, and let me know if you got any questions.